Welcome to the Genius Hour, where we converse with the community to find out the stories behind Indianapolis' remarkable people and the opportunities they took to get there. I'm Jayden, and I'll be your host for today.
Today, we're sitting down with someone who not only brings power and heart to the ring, but who's also a pillar in our community. Rachel Armstrong is not just a wrestler, she's a force in Indianapolis. Known for her spectacular athleticism, fierce spirit, and commitment to uplifting others, Rachel has captivated fans and inspired people of all ages. She's here to give us an inside look at what drives her as a wrestler and as a person. Rachel, it is so fantastic to have you here today.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
You are quickly becoming a fan favorite at Wrestlearts, and we're excited to get to know more about you as a wrestler and as a person. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Let's start by talking about your journey. From your time in high school as a top athlete and a valedictorian to now becoming a force in the wrestling world, you were valedictorian of your class at River Forest High School, is that right?
That is correct.
It's a huge accomplishment in itself. You were also a standout in sports like golf, and volleyball, and basketball. My first question is just, what kept you so driven back then, and how does that competitive spirit influence you today?
Really, it was just a competition with myself mostly. Further than that, I really couldn't tell you, because even now I think back to high school Rachel and doing all the extra classes and all the sports practices, and I don't know how I did it, looking back at me now, but we're here, and it's definitely made me a very strong person now, mentally, physically, even emotionally, carrying myself through all that, so yeah.
And you said high school Rachel. Is there a difference between high school Rachel and today's Rachel, and what is that difference?
High school Rachel, college Rachel, post-college Rachel, they're completely different stages of Rachel's in the last couple of years. So yeah, she's definitely evolved since high school.
Is there a similar thread through all of those different Rachels that stayed very consistent?
Definitely.
Skills, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. She definitely stuck to it. She hard work, all the practices, all the academics, all the mental mindset, the perseverance, it stayed the same.
Are you a chronic practicer? Are you somebody that values practice a lot?
Definitely. I'm more of I have to do it over and over again for it to stick, but once it sticks, I'm good, solid.
Not everyone knows this, but you competed in the 100-meter and 300-meter hurdles. That's some serious endurance and coordination training right there. How have the mindset and skill set from track and field transitioned to wrestling?
Yeah, running was actually definitely one of the most mentally challenging sports because that's all you. Now, as far as body and mind connection, those are one of the connections that you truly don't know that you have, and you have to dedicate your body and mind together. And I think mentally that's very challenging, like a runner's block, if you guys have ever heard of it, but that's very real. That is very real. And as far as, because I started in track and field as a sprinter, and a couple years later I started doing cross country, which is the longer distance. So as far as like knowing your pace, knowing what your body can do, and then pushing your body to what you think it can do and what you know it can do, that's a challenge a lot of people can't get past, but it's definitely there.
What's the farthest you ran?
There were practices we were running 8 miles out in the summer. So yeah.
Is it a hobby that you keep up now? Would you still define yourself as a runner?
Definitely. I actually want to work to do a marathon sometime. It's on my bucket list.
So you've run sprints, right?
Yes.
And you've run long distances. Which one translates the best in the ring? Are you fire right in the moment, try and hit your opponent with a lot of different things right away, or are you in it for the long haul in a match? Are you an iron woman?
I think speed and quickness is my best bet, especially with my size. I think if I can get the upper hand early on, that's my best bet to get my opponent down. As far as longevity, I know I have the stamina to keep my opponent in the long haul. So I do think I have an advantage on both sides, but I think it translates easier if I can get my opponent where I need them early on, so I have more control in the back half of the match.
Thank you. In my research, I didn't see any chess player. Was that anything that you did? Do you do non-athletics?
I actually don't know how to play chess.
Okay.
Checkers, yeah, a little bit, but I haven't played in so long, couldn't tell you how to play it now.
My follow-up question was going to be if you played chess, but also with some of the other sports that you went out for, which one has the best comparison, would you say, to being in the ring? Where's the same mindset? You seem to talk a lot about having this strong mindset. I imagine there's a lot of different mindsets for different sports.
Oh, definitely.
Which one translates the best in the ring?
Really, I'd say volleyball. Surprisingly, yeah. Because when you get to playing volleyball at such a high level, that ball comes coming at you super quick. So as far as like reaction time, you definitely have to have good reaction time in wrestling because you can read your opponent better. It's just like reading the ball. I played all positions on the court in volleyball, so I think as far as body and mind connection, again, I'm very strong in that. So I think one of my biggest strengths is being able to read my opponent and being able to study my opponent and know how to study my opponent. Because I know how to study a ball, I know how to study body language of my opponents, and I know how to study verbally. Because you see who's calling the ball, you see where the ball's going to go, and you can read the body connection.
I have noticed in several of your Wrestlearts matches that you are highly skilled at reading when your opponent comes off the top rope. You're very quick there, and I picture a spike in volleyball being very similar to
very much so, yes.
Great. Do you ever incorporate any of your track training into your wrestling workouts?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I still run on the track. For my workouts. I think not only do I just enjoy running it, I think it allows me mental space to escape because I can be in nature, enjoy my workout outside, and still enjoy like flashbacks to high school. But at the same time, I think sprints is one of the best ways to train for wrestling because you're able to condition your body better.
Sure, absolutely. I uncovered something interesting about your high school years. It sounds like you had quite the rivalry with a classmate. I want to say her name's like Montserrat. Is that right?
Monse for short.
When I was doing all of the research, her name kept coming up too, and you both pushed each other academically and athletically. She was the salutatorian, and you were the valedictorian, and you both even earned the Rising Stars of Indiana honor in 2020 by the Indiana Principals Council. So every time I saw your name athletically or academically, I also saw her name, and so I pictured, there's a lot of competitive rivalries and there's a competitive spirit. How has that? Did you have a rivalry with her, academically or athletically? How did that shape your competitive spirit?
I wouldn't even call it a rivalry. Monse is one of those girls that just pushes you to be the best, and we both just push each other to be the best, and we were always there for each other, academically and mentally, and really we just pushed each other. And at the end of the day, it just came down to who had the point whatever higher GPA, and so really we graduated in the middle of COVID, so we just valedictorian, salutatorian. I mean, we really just share the spotlight together. So
the two of you tag team.
Oh, definitely, definitely, yeah, we did that together.
Has that relationship carried over into some of your wrestling relationships at all?
Oh, very much so.
Can you give any examples? Is there anybody out there that you sort of have a similar relationship with? Alice Crowley, maybe? Alice
Crowley, Blair Onyx, Billy Stars. There's so many girls out there that are so... I think that's the greatest thing about women's wrestling, to really be honest with you, is the relationships that you build with each other outside and inside of the ring. Because when you're able to connect with girls like that, you feel so, like, not that you don't feel safe inside the ring with your opponent, but your body just allows you to be so much safer and more just relaxed. And there's no worries in the ring because you got each other. And at the end of the day, anything outside the ring, you're there to come back to each other. You're there to help each other, and we're all in this together. So yeah, I think that's the coolest thing about just friendships and girls in wrestling too.
In your valedictorian speech, you gave heartfelt shout-outs to some key people in your life. I was especially struck by your words about your grandfather, your grandparents, how your grandpa introduced you to golf and how they encouraged you and everything. How did those early experiences shape your resilience and your competitive nature?
Yeah, my grandparents were always there for us. My grandma, she was always at all of our games. She always brought us food after school to take on the bus with us to whatever game we were going to. She always had us. She always showed up for us. And even still, she was the one who was on the road with me at first, making sure I didn't go to any show by myself, and I felt safe and comfortable trying this out because it was all new to me. But my grandparents, they definitely didn't want me wrestling at first. They thought it was very dangerous.
Sure.
It is very dangerous.
Have they come to?
Yes. My grandma's she's the biggest fan there ever could be now.
Have they come to a Wrestlearts show?
I don't think so yet. We got to get them out here sometime.
Okay.
But yeah, my grandparents have been so supportive of everything I've been doing with wrestling so far, and I think that's the greatest thing. That's the greatest feeling because they were there the whole time growing up too. So it's very it's comforting.
Yeah.
Just to know that you've always got those people in your corner to support you still and live out your dream with them.
Was grandfather a left-handed golfer as well?
I'm pretty sure he's left-handed, yeah.
And you're a lefty?
Yes, I am.
Lefty
Well, I'm left-handed, yes.
Man.
I'm actually ambidextrous, a little bit.
Oh, it's a hard life. Tired of getting smudges on all my paper.
Yeah, the pencil on the hand, yeah.
That's so good. Your parents clearly played a huge role in your life as well. Now that you're pursuing such a unique path, what's your best piece of advice or support that they've given you?
I would say just know who you are. Never lose sight of that. And like it's so easy to get so consumed in everything that's going on around you and everything that could be, what expectations are, like just anything the world has to throw at you, just stay true to who you are. Because at the end of the day, you know what your limits are. You know how big or strong you can be. So don't sell yourself short and don't dig yourself in a hole either. But when you get yourself in that hole, you know you got your people to come back to.
To answer that question, who is Rachel Armstrong if you had to answer in a few words?
Rachel Armstrong is one of the brightest stars you're ever going to see. And that's just that. Because it doesn't come down to fame or popularity or anything like that. It comes down to your smile. It comes down to how you treat people. It comes down to how you make someone feel. And at the end of the day, if nothing else is to come from wrestling, I just hope there's somebody out there that feels good because I made them feel some type of way. That I made them feel good about themselves, or I made them feel inspired to do what they want to do with their lives. So I think that's Rachel Armstrong.
That is the perfect answer. Well done. You mentioned being the first female golfer at your high school to compete in the women's seasons and sectionals. What drove you to break that barrier? Do you feel that sense of trailblazing has continued in wrestling? Would you define yourself as a trailblazer?
Definitely. So my grandpa got me started in golf. He got me out on the driving range one summer. I wanted to try it. I found out my school had a golf team. I actually played on the boys' team for the first 3 years because that's all we had.
How was that?
It's about the same as wrestling. I train with a bunch of guys, and I'm the only girl. It's really the same thing. So I don't see any difference in that, not at all. But yeah, I played on the golf team with the boys the first couple of years. All the boys were super respectful and everything. Taught me and showed me the ropes.
You're right at home in a Wrestlearts locker room.
Yes.
Wow.
Very much, yeah. It was actually my grams. She'd come to all the golf outings with me to make sure I was safe, felt good, everything comfortable. And she was actually one of the advocates that helped me get the girls' golf team going because she would go to the superintendent meetings and keep it pushing and keep it pushing and keep it pushing. And eventually we got it approved and we went and did it by ourselves.
We've been talking about trailblazing, so we'll continue that. You were a first-generation college student. How has that shaped your approach to wrestling, especially in terms of resilience and setting big goals for yourself?
It was very scary for me. I remember moving. I knew I wanted to go away for college because I'm not from Indianapolis. I moved here for college. But I knew I wanted to move away for college, and I knew I wanted to wrestle. And as far as like trying out wrestling, I could still, it was my roommate, really, my college roommate, that pushed me to go to that first day of wrestling school because I was too scared to go and I wasn't going to do it. And she went with me to my first practice to make sure that I went and I tried it and I didn't give up on myself before I gave it a shot. I'm sorry?
Where was that first day?
WCWO, Indianapolis. Yes. So, yeah, that first day was scary, but I'm so proud of that little Rachel that showed up for herself and the Yosei. I'll say your name, Yosei, because you helped me take that step and do it.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy you made me do that. Because look at us now.
Yeah.
So it was scary, but you gotta take that first step.
What advice would you give to young fans or students who look up to you as they chase their own dreams?
Yeah, you can't give up on yourself. You have to take that first step. And if you know that's what you truly want to do with your life, then you just keep on pushing and make that happen for you.
I also learned your superintendent, Dr. Disney,
Yes.
once described you as a phenomenal student, published you at a board meeting. Were you at that board meeting?
I believe so.
Okay.
He was actually one of he came to my sectional meet when we got that girls team going. And that was the first sectional girl competed for the school. And he showed up for me.
And talked about you at the next board meeting.
He sure did. I remember how proud he was of me for doing that and getting that going.
He highlighted your accomplishments academically and athletically. When you hear people speak so highly of your dedication, how does that push you to keep striving for excellence now?
I mean, back then I held myself to such a high standard that I almost mentally crashed myself. Now that's a good thing that I held myself to that high standard, but I think now I'm focusing on just living life for what it is and not worrying so much on high achievements and just getting so caught up on that. So I think it's very important for everyone to push themselves to that high standard, but I also think it's very important to live your life and not always want to be the best at everything. So as far as the accomplishments back then compared to now, I think I definitely still push for what I want because I know what I want. But you have to live life for the journey it is and not get too caught up on the achievements of everything.
Well said. So you've been a top student. You've been a top athlete. You're now a top wrestler? I think so. Where do you think that drive comes from, and how do you channel it different in wrestling to your other experiences?
I think mainly it's just coming from a small town that no one ever makes it out of. No one ever gets out and does anything, and you just stay in that hole. And I didn't want to stay in that hole forever. So I think most of my underdog story comes from just wanting to be heard and wanting to be that person that didn't get stuck in that hole, that didn't let where you come from or who you come from or anything define who you are. Because you gotta do that for yourself at the end of the day. So I think I just want to be that person that makes it out and can be that example for somebody else too.
Your Wrestlearts debut at Heat Stroke was a huge one. You took on now former holder of the Global Women's Crown, Alice Crowley. Though you didn't get the win, the match ignited a friendly rivalry between you two. What was it like going up against Alice, and how has that pushed you as a wrestler?
Alice is such an inspiration to me. I hope everyone knows that because Alice helped train me. Alice was my first handful of matches. Alice really made Rachel Armstrong a little bit of Rachel Armstrong, and the world needs to know that for real. And so I think as far as a rivalry, as far as friendship, I hope it goes on for all eternity because I'd love to face that girl until the end of the earth.
Does having a friendship with another competitor impact your matches?
Definitely. I think I've had some of my best matches with my friends because you can go out there and just be entirely yourself. And once you get so comfortable with somebody, you have such good chemistry with them too. You know each other's movements, you know each other's movesets and everything. You can gel so well together.
Is it easier or harder competing against someone you're close to?
I kind of think a little bit of both. As far as mentally, I think you clash heads maybe a little bit more. But as far as in the ring, I think those are the funnest matches you can have.
You're not bringing a chair or anything like that to hit your friend, right? Would you do that? Okay.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that. At Cirque de Lucha, you got your first big win in Wrestlearts against Blair Onyx, who you also talked to as having a competitive rivalry with. She's a formidable opponent. What was it like to get your first victory over her, and what did you take away from that match?
Wins are always cool, but at the end of the day,
I hope so.
at the end of the day, wins are also rungs on the ladder. So as far as building and building and building, we love that. Beating your friends, nah, who cares? But as far as building the rungs on the ladder to get to the top, that's just what you gotta. It's just business sometimes.
Okay. Recently, you teamed up with Alice and defeated Lainey Luck and Heather Monroe, who's a longtime holder of the global women's crown. She's one of the best wrestlers on the Wrestlearts roster. What was it like to pull off an upset against her and Lainey? And do you feel that you cemented yourself as an upcoming star here?
See, now that one felt pretty good because I don't know why they're so mean all the time. But to put them in their place for once, yeah, that felt pretty good. But it also gave me the confidence boost I needed for Wrestlearts because who even is Rachel Armstrong?
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta get beat to find out who you are.
Yeah, yeah. You do some real soul searching then. But once you beat those top people, you start to get to that little confidence boost, and you start really questioning what you really can do in that division.
What's your relationship like with Heather Monroe?
I've never got to really babble too much with Heather Monroe.
Do you want to?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Sometimes I don't want to.
Of course. Yeah, I want to test Rachel Armstrong, and I want to see where she could go.
She doesn't seem to like me very much.
I don't think she likes anybody very much. But I mean, that's her business. But at the end of the day, let's see where it goes.
Okay.
Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, that sounds like a challenge to me. You heard that. Challenging Heather Monroe. At the Circle City Clash, you won a triple threat match against Heather Monroe and Ari Alexander. You earned a shot at the Global Women's Crown. Do you feel you're ready for this title shot?
I don't think I could be more ready, if I'm being super honest with you.
Okay.
I think since graduating college and I can really focus and hone in on wrestling and training and just focus entirely on wrestling. I've never been more confident in my wrestling right now.
You're saying you go all in on something, and you're
all in
on wrestling.
Oh yeah,
right now.
We're all in.
All your accomplishments are in the past right now. This is where you're going.
We're locked in right now. We're locked in.
Wrestlearts is all about community impact. You're a huge fan favorite, known not just for your skill, but for your kindness and your humility. How do you hope to inspire others in and out of the ring?
In any way I can. Absolutely in any way I can. I would love to start some kind of a volunteer or like club kind of outside of wrestling, outside of everything. Just something that at some point in the week somebody can come home from work, come home from school and do something together. Just escape.
We'll start a run club together.
Heck yeah.
Irvington Run.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Genius Hour, brought to you by the Purdue Polytechnic Lab, a small place with big opportunities.